I told you not to give up on this team. I said a few videos back that a lot of the errors and mistakes that this team were making defensively and all the bad plate discipline that you're seeing is very coachable and very fixable. If anybody could turn it around this season, it would be this team. And here they are, just taking 3 of 4 off one of the best teams, not just in the AL, but in the entire Major League Baseball scene. Took 3 of 4 off the Rangers, beat the Cardinals in a series, and probably should have beat the Dodgers. Let's be honest, they should have beat the Dodgers in that series a couple weeks ago on that Saturday, whenever they blew that 4-run lead in the 7th. But that's neither here nor there. They should have had 3 series wins in a row, but instead it's just 2. But I'll take it. They're only 3 games back in the AL West. They have 8 games left to go before the All-Star break. 2 with the Rockies, who are an unmitigated natural disaster, and then woeful Mariners, who are just kind of just stagnating around 500. So there's a very good chance that the Astros are actually going to take back over first place possession of the AL West or tie the Rangers going into the All-Star break. And that's no fault of the Rangers. They have one of the best teams in baseball right now. And honestly, they're going to be a contender here in about 2 or 3 years. So I tip my hat to you, Texas. Y'all have a nice ball club out there, and the fans and the ownership and the team should be proud of themselves because they built something special there. But I think for right now that the Astros are sort of still the top dog in the AL, and they've kind of just shown why. But like I said, tip your hat to the Rangers because they gave the Astros a fight. Usually in years past, when the Rangers would get down 8-2, 10-2, they would just lay down and give up. But that team, now that they have, did not. And I gotta tip my cap to them. Now, let's talk about this offense for a second because my God, has it just erupted. The past month, this team's averaging 5.5 runs a game, which is 4th in the league. One of the best slugging percentages, on base percentages. And Jose Abreu has just turned it around. And I told a lot of you not to give up on him yet because I knew he was too skilled and too good at the game of baseball to just be this bad for one season. There's no way that that guy would go from hitting 110 RBIs last year to this woeful, pitiful player that he was the first 2.5 months of the season. And since June 1st, he's been one of the hottest hitters on the planet. Then you add in the fact that Jose Altuve, since he's been back, this team has just looked so different. The spark plug that he has provided. And it's not just the leadoff walks and home runs. Altuve has turned into a player that I never thought he would, which is a walk machine this season. His walk rate is actually pretty insane so far this season if you look at it versus his previous year's numbers. And then you plug in guys like Chas McCormick, who have been so instrumental in helping drive in those late game runs. And Mauricio Dubon, who lately since slotted in for Jeremy Pena has looked pretty good out there, except for the defense. You kind of expect that with a guy like Mauricio Dubon, who doesn't have nearly the arm that Pena has or the athleticism that Pena possesses. But I can only imagine what happens when Yordan Alvarez, the best hitter on the planet, gets back in with this lineup, man. I'm licking my chops at the thought of it. And then the fact that the Astros might go out there and actually trade for a slugging lefty to go along with Alvarez and Tucker. Oh boy, this is going to be fun. Now, there are some negatives and drawbacks to the team as well. Mainly the starting pitching depth and Christian Javier himself. The Astros are now down 4 starters. It was first Luis Garcia and Jose Urquidy, then Lance McCullers Jr., and now it's Framber Valdez, although Framber will probably be back sooner than later, as in probably this Friday or Saturday on his next start. But I have to tip my hat and give him flowers. Sean Dubin yesterday came in and absolutely saved the bullpen for this series. Yeah, I know that the bullpen gave up a few runs today, but that's because they're taxed beyond belief right now. But the balls that the Astros have to call up a guy from AAA to come up for one game and throw against one of the best teams in baseball and then send him back down the next day. That takes a lot of guts, a lot of balls, and a lot of faith in one guy. And that one guy, Sean Dubin, delivered. But on the other hand, Christian Javier, he has been less than atrocious. He's been horrid. Now, there's a few things to take away from his struggles, and that is that he's going to turn it around. He's going to fix it. It's a mechanical thing. It's a sidearm slot thing, and a little bit of a backspin on the fastball thing. He'll figure it out. He'll get it done. The Astros don't pay a guy that much money unless they absolutely believe in him, and they more than readily believe in Javier. And why shouldn't they? This is a guy that had the lowest batting average against last season and threw a no-hitter not just in the regular season but in the World Series. With 4 starters out now, with the best player on the planet in Yordan Alvarez out now, the Astros are just 3.5 back from the Texas Rangers for the #1 spot in the AL West. With all the problems and issues that this team has had over the season, it's just incredible how resilient and how big this team's come up in the past 2 weeks. And they're going to go out there and make a trade for a left-handed bat. They're going to go out there and make a trade for another arm for the rotation. Whether that's Dylan Cease Tatis, whether that's Jordan Montgomery, whether that's Shane Bieber, whoever they get is going to be a big key contributor for this team in the playoffs. I really hope it's Shane Bieber. Like I told you, ladies and gentlemen, like I told Dallas, my graphics designer, RELAX, relax. So many people were panicking. So many people were saying we should just go ahead and chalk the season up and worry about the next. And here we are, just 3 games out of first place, and we are 2 games into the wild card spot. This team is going to be fine. This team is going to make a run, and this team will be there at the end of the year competing for a chip. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. Are you excited for the Astros being back? Do you think they're back, or do you think it's just an illusion, a mirage? And if you haven't already, go and like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new, because I have plenty more baseball content like that, and I'll see you all in the next one. Adios, mis amigos.